Good Packer Nation Thursday morning, folks. It is NFC Championship Week. It's Championship Week. Heart up as you get on right now. Just jump up. If you're not driving, grab that heart button. If you are more than ready to see Aaron Rodgers go out and beat the newly announced league MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, Matt Ryan, in a head-to-head showdown, it doesn't get more exciting than this. But jump up and give me a heart if you're ready to see Aaron Rodgers prove who the real MVP is this coming Sunday. I got some hearts rolling in already. We got Shady here. Says, yeah, Mike is here. Andrew is here. I got to do a little fix because I'm not going to be able to read your... Let me just do this quickly before we get started. There we go. Now I can read your... Andrew is here. Eric is here. Trent is here. Hey, buddy. Kelsey is here as well. It's time for a Green Bay Packer win. It is coming fast. Thursday, Tom and Corey and Joe, what do you think? You ready for Aaron Rodgers to beat Matt Ryan face-to-face? I am so freaking glad that they made this announcement before the championship week. I cannot wait because Aaron Rodgers knows. There's no question mark anymore. The league has chosen Matt Ryan. What do you think this is going to do? Did any of you, if you saw Aaron Rodgers at the podium, at the lectern, in his press conference yesterday afternoon, he was like steely-eyed. He joked a little bit at the beginning, but he was steely-eyed and ready to go. Jamin is here. Janelle is here. Chris is here, Zach and Carrie. Aaron Rodgers deserves the best. Let's go, Pack. I'm so very proud. That's right. I mean, to be quite honest, there is no better matchup. I mean, look at what the Packers-Cowboys matchup did to the ratings last week. Now, the Packers move on in an absolute thriller, and now you have two of the highest-powered offensive teams that have ever been seen in league history. I mean, 30-plus points a game for the Packers during the stretch run, 30-plus points a game average for the Atlanta Falcons all year long. Simon says, shootout in the dome, and I agree. But the thing that just has me stoked more than anything else is Aaron Rodgers versus Matt Ryan. And then they gave all these accolades to Matt Ryan right before this game. Because you know, Aaron Rodgers, there's one thing about Aaron Rodgers. He's a cool customer, but he holds a grudge. He's going to be going out there for payback. He is competitive. So here we go, folks. It is on. The throwdown is about to begin, and the Packers are about to walk in to the Georgia Dome and bring it to the ground. The last game in the Georgia Dome, Packers are going to walk in there and knock those walls down. Not going to be an easy test, though. But how about this? We're talking about Aaron Rodgers a little bit. Okay, so we've got, newly christened league MVP Matt Ryan. He's playing at home. His defense is playing better. His team is healthy. And then we've got Aaron Rodgers, who is one of four quarterbacks in history to have a 100 or better passer rating in the playoffs in his entire career. Matt Ryan's hardly even been to a playoff game in his career. Aaron Rodgers has been to him every year for almost a decade now. And guess whose names are on this list? Career players with a 100 or more passer rating in the playoffs. Bart Starr, Kurt Warner, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. And now it's time for Aaron Rodgers to go ahead and get one head-to-head with the newly appointed MVP. Aaron is here. Shady's asking about Jordy Nelson. The chance is very slim. They're going to try him. He is going to try to play, and he did catch some balls yesterday. He did catch some balls. Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, one of the problems was with broken ribs. He was having trouble breathing, which is typical of broken ribs. He's breathing easier now. He's breathing easier. He caught a few balls. They're going to give him a few more days. And in all likelihood, he is going to go out and try to go on Saturday, but chances are astronomical, to be quite honest, that he goes, all right? So you can emoji me your thoughts if you saw the injury report. If you are thumbs up, hey, we're going to be okay with or without these guys, hit the thumbs up. If you are sad about the injury report, go ahead and hit the sad button. If you have a heart for all these guys that are injured, go ahead and hit the heart button. And if you're pissed off that we continue to get injured, you can hit the angry button. Emoji me your thoughts. It's a little bit therapeutic. I see a lot of thumbs up going across the field screen. Newton is here. Steve is here. I missed one. Adam thinks they should save Jordy for the Pats. That's assuming the Patriots win. That's another topic of discussion we're going to have. We got some angry faces. Some people are sick and tired of like us having to beat teams when we're beat down with injuries, and they basically have a clean slate, which isn't entirely true with the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons lost Claiborne with the biceps injury, I think. Julio Jones is dinged up with a toe. He aggravated it in the game against the Seattle Seahawks. He's going to go for sure. But will he be quite as effective if it takes a little of his edge off? That's one thing. To my mind, I've watched Julio Jones. He pushes off on every cut anyway, to be quite honest. He's a big guy, 6'3", 220 pounds. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a fantastic player, but he pushes off every time he makes a cut. And the initial touchdown, the touchdown that Julio Jones had in the Seahawks game should have been called for offensive pass interference. We've all seen this. Also, Vic Beasley, leading the league in sacks. He is also dinged up with a shoulder or an arm. They had to work on his arm. He went out during the game against the Seahawks, and he came back in, but he was less effective as a pass rusher. Now, that's important because we're going to be throwing the ball, I believe. To some extent, I believe that. We'll talk about that a little bit more in tomorrow's Prediction Friday, folks. However, Davante Adams. I'm going to wait for a second. Here we go again. I got another phone call. I forgot to. All right. Little interruption. I'll get here going. So, on the Packers offensive side of the ball, of course, Jordy Nelson is the number one concern. Most of us are not expecting him to play. That's just the plain and simple fact of the matter. Davante Adams, however, we're all hoping Davante Adams can play, but Coach McCarthy in the press conference, when they asked him about Adams, was very clear. He is not going to practice until Saturday. So Coach McCarthy was clear that Davante Adams is not going to practice till Saturday. The next question is, are they just resting him to make sure he's as good as possible to go? Or is it truly in doubt that he's going to be able to go at this point? We saw the injury that Davante Adams had, and it looked bad. And he came back into that game. Give him all the credit in the world. He's playing like a Packer receiver right now, playing hurt when he needs to, going in when his team needs him. But we'll see what happens. With an ankle like that, they may, if they wait and the swelling goes down, he may feel pretty good with an injection. He may be able to go on Saturday. If there's no, I don't think if it was broken, he'd be on IR. If they were certain that he wouldn't go, they wouldn't try to practice him on Saturday. I think they're giving him as much time as they can and letting him get as much treatment without any kind of possibility of aggravation. Because what happens is you can actually, with an ankle like that, if it's a bad sprain, if the swelling goes down, you can be relatively unaffected. The problem then is pain. They can shoot it up. They can get some pain. What happens is once you finish the game, you tend to swell back up again. So I think what they're doing is they're trying to be strategic about this, rest him up as much as possible. And we'll see, but we'll see. All right. Morgan Burnett, also going to practice with the rehab squad along with Jordy Nelson, Davante. So, guys, I mean, we're looking at a situation that's very similar. It's not unfamiliar to Packers fans, to the Packers team, to the Packers coaching staff. And Shady is making a good point, and you will hear this in my tomorrow prediction Friday. Guys, I have something. The yesterday's show was supposed to be comping the Atlanta Falcons versus the Seattle Seahawks game, and one of the things I dug up when I was doing that, we'll talk a little bit about it because I think it's important. Guys, anybody have a name for me? And I'm going to pause for just a minute to see if anybody knows, because Atlanta and Seattle met in Week 6 of the 2016 season. All right? Who won that game? Number one, Seahawks. I'm going to tell you right off. Seahawks won by 2. There was a last-second pass that could have been a pass interference by Richard Sherman, who pass interferes on virtually every play, like Julio Jones pushes off on every play. But the Seahawks won the initial meeting. There's a couple differences in that game. But there's one name I want to see if any of you guys remember. There was one running back who had 2 touchdowns for Seattle in the Week 6 meeting. Seattle versus Atlanta. The Hawks versus the Falcons. Anybody have a name for who had 2 touchdowns on the ground for the Seahawks in the initial meeting? I'm not talking about the divisional round. I'm talking about Week 6. And there we go. Thomas has got it. And now it's going to dial in for a few more of you guys. Way to go, Thomas. Kristen Michael with 2 touchdowns on the ground in the initial meeting, Seahawks versus the Falcons. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean to me that we need to put in and push Kristen Michael. I don't think, frankly, I get this feeling that the Packers are over him. But guess what it does tell me? This Packers team should be able to run the ball on the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I think we need to spread them out early. I think we need some short passes, some quick outs. Make sure we get their gaps and get their sets where we want them. And then we're going to, Terry's got it too. Way to go. Rudy's got it. Keegan's got it. And I'm not saying Kristen Michael was my dark horse last week. And I actually changed it to Ty Montgomery because of the way the divisional round had gone and coaches had keyed in on the ability of running backs who can catch the ball out of the backfield. But I'm not saying necessarily that Kristen Michael's going to have a huge game. I think, honestly, the Packers are going to put him in much. At this point in the season, they just continue to not give him any reps. However, I think the point is, remember who had 2 touchdowns on the ground against the Cowboys last Sunday? I know you all remember that. So there's the point. And I'm glad Shady mentioned it. Ty Montgomery factored in big in this. Hey, anybody remember, did Ty Montgomery was starting running back for the Packers when we met the Falcons and lost by 1 point, right? In Week 8. That was Ty. No, that was Nile Davis. Oh, yeah. This Packers team's got some work to do without Jordy Nelson, possibly without Devontae Adams. Geronimo Allison had a touchdown in the initial meeting against the Falcons. So this is a team we've cut our teeth on rookies, second-year players, stayed young, and these guys have to step up. This is the championship. This is the NFC championship. It's time. Dave's got to get the lead, keep the foot on the throttle. We know, this is one of the things I've said. I think having the Cowboys sneak back up on us was one of the best things that could happen to us going into this game. Because the reason is this team learned not to be complacent. You can't fail on a couple drives in the second half and expect the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons can score faster than the Dallas Cowboys. And Steve, you're right. We didn't have, okay, here, let me go through the list in case you guys missed. I went through this list because on Monday I comped the initial meeting of Packers against the Falcons, and we talked about the injury list. Packers played without Ty Montgomery. Remember, Ty Montgomery had that kidney issue where he had blood in his urine. We were a little concerned, and they just held him out. More precautionary than anything. We didn't have Jared Cook. Jared Cook was gone. We didn't have Randall Cobb, guys. Okay? So I thought I'd just go over that again quick. Stacy says they beat the Falcons in 2010. They can do it again. I promise. We're going to talk a little bit about this will be the 4th time the Packers have met the Falcons all time in the postseason. And the Packers have a 2-1 advantage Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for 3-1 against the Atlanta Falcons in the playoffs. This is going to be a huge game. This is going to be an exciting game. This is going to be, I expect, to some extent, a shootout. Heath added to the list also, I talked about this Monday, Clay Matthews also did not play in that game. Now, Clay Matthews and Julius Peppers, we saw them kind of absent in the Cowboys game, but, excuse me, keep in mind, guys, there's a difference between the Atlanta Falcons offensive line and the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Okay? And Thomas, our secondary was already beat up. Listen, here's another 2 names to add to the list we did not have in the initial meeting against the Falcons. Demarius Randall and Quentin Rollins. Now, I know they're not playing lights-out football right now, but we could get both of them on the field. And to my mind, anybody, I am a little bit high on Bryce right now. When Bryce, look back to the Cowboys game, did anyone see Kentrell Bryce take Cole Beasley and pile drive him onto the turf at AT&T Stadium? Some guys are going to have to step up. These young guys are going to have to play. But this team, this coaching staff, prepares them for that from the time they set foot in the building. Remember in training camp, the talk that it was really a news item because it's fairly different to some extent than some other teams. A lot of teams, if you go in as an undrafted free agent, you're basically meat squad. You are just practice fodder. The Packers aren't that way. The Packers get in there and they name off the names of Pro Bowlers that they have that were undrafted free agents. And they look these guys in the eye and they tell them, get ready, prepare. You can make this team. You can make the field and you can make a difference. We're going to need them. We're going to need them come Sunday. All right. So, I don't know. Most of you have seen the injury report. I was a little down about it yesterday, but, guys, we have who we have at this point. And this is who we're going to go in and play the Falcons with. And we need to get a win no matter what. Anybody? Okay, so you can heart me if you want this. You can angry face if you don't, okay? Because this has been a major topic of discussion. And yesterday, there a picture, a photograph, quote-unquote photograph, could have been Photoshop, came out of Peanut Tillman standing outside Lambeau Field and pointing, and he's looks so desperate, to be quite honest. This is getting to be the point where it's just so desperate to get a chance to get a Super Bowl because you played for the Bears your whole career practically. Give me a heart if you want Peanut Tillman. Give me an angry face if you don't, because I know that there are some out there that just are absolutely dead set. We're going to get him, and 2 days later, he's going to get on the field, and suddenly all of our woes are going to be over. We're going to be a dominant defense. No one's going to be able to score on us. Got a couple hearts. A few more coming. Andrew, no, Andrew, I don't get paid for these. However, I will say this. I say Facebook is. I'm getting. Kung Fu Theater time. We're back up. No, I don't get paid. Facebook is preparing to put ads in, which I will use because I just don't have any choice. So we'll minimize that as much as we can. But I thank you for the comment. I truly appreciate that. I do want to say, guys, a couple things that I forgot to at the beginning of the show. I just want to thank all of you. And it's probably part of the reason we're struggling a little with the feed. This show has actually doubled in size in about a week now. We've gone from 2,500 to 3,500 views to 7,000 to 8,000 views, and it's all because you guys are sharing it out and letting people know. And I've got friends out there. I've joined a conversation or two on Facebook with folks that have They've said, listen, this is my buddy so-and-so, my buddy so-and-so. I told him about your show. I just want everybody to know I totally appreciate it. I'm completely floored, to be quite honest, because I just get on here and talk Packers. I'm not any expert. I have some know-how, I think, and I love to talk about the Packers. So I do appreciate that. All right. Peter is out there. He's got a comment, and you guys can emoji your thoughts on this. Tillman's not too old. Guys, I'm going to tell you this. I got against bringing Peanut on. I think he would be a nice, welcome addition for sure. Here's my thought on Tillman is I wish we had done this weeks ago. When this news sort of first came out and Tillman sort of made the comment, I think it was Twitter that he wanted to jump on board. I wish we would have got him on right then. Now, we are let me do the reality check side because I do that. We are a Ted Thompson-led team. And Tillman calling on Aaron Rodgers to become a Packer does absolutely nothing. It doesn't do anything. It blows up social media, but it's Ted Thompson makes decisions. And I'm going to just, to be realistic, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. And I'm sorry for those that really, because I thought it would be fantastic too a month ago. Tom is saying play him in the slot. Hector is saying the news came out. There's the expectation that the Packers are going to release him. They're going to let him go so that if he decides to play, he is free to go wherever he wants. This is obviously this is due to his injury to some extent, but partly due to the legal problems he had. We've got Geronimo Allison. We've got Sam Shields with this same marijuana charge. And I think what the Packers are trying to do is to say, listen, if you your day off, you decide to do this and you get caught, you are not going to have a job. And again, I've had the conversation about where I stand on that whole issue. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a player and you want to get back on the field, you got to keep your nose clean. And if the NFL says it's illegal and you're going to get penalized for it, you're hurting the team if you get caught, number one, but you're hurting the team if you take a risk of getting caught. And that's just the situation at this point. So, this is not a surprise to Packer fan that we will see Sam Shields in a Packer uniform. But it is a little bit of a surprise. We're expecting him to get released early. And frankly, health, I think it's probably the right thing to do. But yeah, it is what it is. One of the things. Okay. All right, guys. This shit up, I have said this, back in 2009, it was after the 2008 season. You guys will remember. This was sort of, for some people, man, my feet is struggling so bad. There must be a ton of people, guys. Love y'all. All right. After the 2008 season, Aaron Rodgers had a coming-of-age game in the wild card round of the 2008, it was in 2009, January, 10th. The Cardinals end up beating the Packers, the Kurt Warner-led Cardinals, who Aaron Rodgers now shares the board with as quarterbacks with two others as a quarterback who has a 100 passer rating in the playoff career. Cardinals end up winning this game 51-5. We know the story. Aaron Rodgers was face masked. When he had that fumble, he was face masked, not called, picked up, run in. We know the story. But guys, give me a thumbs up right now if you think that this game is shaping up to be just like that 2009 wild card meeting between the Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. Got to play away again. And I would love, if I had thought at the time, I would have gone back because I wouldn't be surprised because that was the year Kurt took the Cardinals all the way to the Super Bowl. I remember that year particularly because that was the year I posted a prediction for the Super Bowl, Cardinals versus the Steelers. And I got the prediction dead on, like I nailed it exactly that year. But one of the things I'm going to go back and check, I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Warner was league MVP that year. And we'll see. I'll have to check in on that. Morning, John. Hector says Matt Ryan is going to choke. But I think this game is going to turn into a game very much like that Arizona Cardinals Packers meeting in 09. And I remember Mike falling to his knees. That's right. I had not remembered that. Yes, and it was just, he just goes, just drops to his knees. He's got his clipboard in his hand. He's got his headset on, if I remember right. Heartbreaking. Guys, we are going to right that wrong. It's time to right that wrong. And there's a couple ways we're going to do it, but we know that it starts and ends with Aaron Rodgers. Okay? So I got a question for you. And you guys can comment this. Because I think on Monday, that the team that's I'm gonna wait for just a second again. Let me catch up. Tyler Rico. I made the comment on Monday that the team that settles for the least field goals, that means obviously most touchdowns, is going to win this game. It's going to be, if you count the field goals, it's not going to be, we each had one and then somebody kicks a field goal as a walk-off like at the Cowboys game, because that would be 2-1, but the team that kicked the last one wins. I think the team that kicks the least field goals wins in this game. Willie says, Packers will win in Atlanta and will also win the Super Bowl. We on a mission from God. Well, I know Russell Wilson seemed to think that too, and it didn't work out too well for him. Aaron Rodgers poo-pooed that notion. I honestly, if we were going to wax theological about it, I don't think God cares who wins the ball, but I know some will disagree with me on that. Adam is here. Oh, bye, Adam. Have a good day, man. Vince is here. First to 35 wins. Well, yeah, I said first to 30 in the Cowboy game, which basically ended up true. Adam, I am about to say first to 50 in this game, to be quite honest. I know there's some that are going to thumbs up me because I've got a feeling there is a possibility. Now, I'm not predicting it yet, okay? So, because it's Thursday, I get to change anything in between now and then, okay? So I can hedge my bet a little bit. But I am leaning toward first to 50 in this game. Atlanta could not even slow us down. We had two rookies on the field. And they couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers. But our defensive backfield looks really bad. Now, I did see the comment. I don't remember who made it. But if the difference, if Julius Peppers and having Clay Matthews and Julius Peppers, I think is key. I think then we might bring it down. Robert's already got a prediction. I can't read it, Robert. It's just, I can't, just because it's not Friday yet. But I see it. And I might be right there with you, buddy. Oh, man, now we got bowl predictions coming in. I see a 60 come up on the board. I think I said this Monday. There is a possibility that this game breaks the all-time NFL playoff record. I didn't look up what that was, but the Packers-Cardinals in 09 missed it by, I think, like 3 points. So it's 95-ish or something total points. And Andrew's making a great point, and I agree with you on this. I wouldn't say this isn't what I say it comes down to, because I think this is going to come down to plays best up front. But it says it comes down to cornerback stopping the shot plays, right? And I know you guys agree, because the Packers, we tend to give up big plays. If the Packers can limit the big plays in this game and keep it a little bit in front of them, we have a great chance of winning this game. Now, but to my mind, the key then is pressure. Because the Falcons, if we give Matt Ryan too much time, he is going to kill us on the He's going to kill us on the seam routes, the streaks. If we get pressure on him, they're going to have to adjust to the short stuff, the slants, the dig routes, the crossing patterns. It requires the pressure first. And Thomas is making a comment that I agree with completely. And I made that. Who was I? I was talking to Jonah this week. He says, all right, the comment is time of possession is huge. All right. Now, in this game, I am going to say time of possession trumps field position. Okay. So you watch this game, see if I'm right. But I think time of possession trumps field position in this game. If one team can score touchdowns and take time off the clock, they're going to win this game. Now, but how does that relate to field position? Well, look at what Atlanta did against Seattle, okay? Let me take you back. I know practically all of you watched the game. Seattle got backed up with their heels on their end zone, and Russell Wilson hit his foot guard, I can't remember which, safety for the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks come back and kick a field goal that rolls down to the 4-inch line of Atlanta, and Atlanta walks all the way down and scores a touchdown. So that is why, to explain and exemplify why I think time of possession trumps field position in this game, is because look at these two offenses. And if you have an offense that can go from inside your 10 to the end zone, number one, you put 7 on the board anyway, but look what you did in the meantime. Time of possession. You have taken time off the clock, but you put 7 on the board anyway. And if I were to characterize these two offenses, number one, you saw Matt Ryan do it against the Seattle Seahawks. And against our defensive backfield, actually, I think our defensive backfield can play better than Seattle right now. I really do. But the fact of the matter is, we could see them being able to win that. Aaron Rodgers, if he gets backed up, we saw against Dallas, he got backed up. Now, from time to time, we stall, but again, this is what I'm saying. Time of possession, I think, in this game trumps field position. And you know me, I am a big field position guy. This is why Jacob Schum is out there. This is why, these third and longs early on in series get me down, because field position is incredibly important. I'm not taking anything away from that, and I'm not saying it couldn't play an important role, but I think, and guys, since I've made the time, give me a thumbs up if you're agreeing with me at this point that time of possession is going to trump field position in this game because of these two high-powered offenses and because of the weakness on both sides of, in particular, the defensive backfield. Rich is saying, breaking news. You are on with me, buddy. Adams and Allison expected to play versus Atlanta. Let me know where you got that. Jump up again. Let me know what is your source on that? Did you get that off NFL Network? Anything coming through from the Packers app? Or if I will take anything Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport say I pretty much write it on the wall. You guys know how that goes. Jacob says Gunter is going to be a beast. Way to go, Jacob. He had a decent game. Remember, Julio was dinged up last time, but Julio's dinged up again. And I think Ladarius Gunter can have a better day than Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was holding all day long. He was holding all day long. He had no answer. And Ladarius Gunter, even though he got dinged up a little bit in the game against the Cowboys, I think he's going to be fine. Get some rehab, rest up, but focus and get ready to play. This is it, guys. This is the championship. Anybody else out there totally stoked for this game? I mean, just emoji me here, because it's time to take a pause. I promised some extra, because I apologize for missing yesterday. So I promised, a little, hopefully, extra coverage today. But it's time to pause and take a moment to let your humble host know if you are stoked to watch the Packers go into the Georgia Dome and defeat the Atlanta Falcons and move on to Super Bowl 51. This is the week, guys. It's just a few days away. I'm going to let you guys emoji me your thoughts for a minute, and then stay tuned, because I'm going to talk about what we're going to need to do to beat them. Oh yeah, we got some happy, stoked people. Nancy says, I am stoked. It's all caps, so, I mean, come on. We know what you mean, right? MJ, hell yes. Can't wait. And Peter's got the green heart. All right, I love those green hearts. All right, guys, how do we do it, okay? I'm not even sure if I've gone on script. I have so many, seriously, I have Post-its. I have notes. I have so much I wanted to talk of, okay? One of the things we got done talking about was control time of possession. I think time of possession trumps field position in this game, all right? Now, Secondly, I want to take a few little reminders from the Packers against the, from the Falcons against the Seattle Seahawks, a game that they dominated. They ended up dominating. They didn't dominate the first half. Packers versus the Seahawks, and I want to compare, okay? There's still more comments, so I'm going to hold off for just a little because you guys are rolling. I want to read some of these that come across. We got to stop dropping interceptions. That's right. We have to, when those opportunities come, we got to get them, without a doubt. Great, Peter. 2010 all over again, going through the Falcons to a Super Bowl in Texas. Adien, I didn't see it. I got to move down because I can't keep up. Matthews playing against his cousin. He'll be hyped about this game. Yeah, Clay Matthews playing in this game, guys. He wasn't in the last round, and he's getting healthier. We got to go Pack. 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl. Andy says, guys, you have heard me say this, and I am the only one that I know has said this before. The Packers own the ones of the Super Bowl. We own Super Bowl 1. We own Super Bowl 31, and now we are going to take Super Bowl 51. And then everybody's going to start talking about it. But you heard it here first. Nick says, love watching Jay tackle. Man, having him back has been so great. All right, Tony's talking about we need our pass rush to get a takeaway or a few stops. All right, here's the thing about the pass rush. And I'm going to make this point based on the comparison. The Seahawks beat the Falcons week 6. The Seahawks lost the Falcons in the divisional round. One of the differences that I saw between these two games, and you need to listen close to this, because this is going to be important, and you will see it play out in the game one or the other. In the initial meeting, Falcons versus Seahawks, I'm going to hold my feet is giving me trouble again. It's because there's got to be a ton of people commenting now. Kung Fu Theater. In the initial meeting, the Seahawks were able to get pressure up the middle. There's one thing we're learning. It's still not able to. And Gary, we need a birthday present for Julius Peppers. Let's get him a couple of sacks, couple of birthday sacks. I like that idea, Gary. I like that idea a lot. But in the initial meeting, the Seattle Seahawks got pressure up the middle and got in Matt Ryan's face, okay? In the divisional round, the Seattle Seahawks brought their pressure from the edges. And let me tell you something, it is very, very hard to be successful getting pressure on Matt Ryan from the edges. Let me throw out for you. I'm still having so much trouble getting. All right. Let me throw out a stat. Matt Ryan's passer rating when he is blitzed is 118. 118. We are not going to be able to just throw extra guys at Matt Ryan and hope to get home. It will not happen. We may, like we did against the Cowboys, we may get away with Mike Tyson backside. We might get away a blitz or two in this game. But we have to get our pressure up the middle into Matt Ryan's face, not the edges. Now, does that mean we don't rush Julius Peppers and Clay Matthews around the edges? Well, yeah, we do from time to time. You have to contain him because he will escape the pocket and he's dangerous there too. But our pressure up the middle will make the difference as to whether we win this game or lose it. You mark my words right now. Which names does that call to mind? Number one, you got Mike Daniels. And we got Kenny Clark, LaTroy Guy on 2 up there. But Mike Daniels is going to have a huge game. He needs to have a huge game. But secondarily to that, let's put Julius Peppers and Clay Matthews, let's stunt and cross Clay Matthews to the middle and give him the pressure like he used to do when he played inside linebacker. And get directly into Matt Ryan's grill. That is what you have to do, especially when they're lined up and they're starting to have success with the vertical routes and the seam routes, we have to get pressure from the middle. Write it down. Watch it. If we do, we win this game. If we don't, guess what? That's when it becomes a 50-plus point game for each team. If we don't get pressure directly into Matt Ryan's grill, this game is going to be first team to 50. The Seattle Seahawks failed it the second time around. They just couldn't get it done. And they got dominated in the second half. So write it down, inside pressure. Now, we may snag him once or twice. We may snag him on a blitz. We may get pressure there and cause an errant throw once or twice in the game. But Matt Ryan, the reason Matt Ryan has the MVP is because you blitz him, you die. That's all there is to it. And I would like to see, I said this last week. I said last week I'd like to see Clay Matthews at inside linebacker. This week, I would like to see them line Julius Peppers either at the 0 or the 1 technique, put his hand in the ground. He's done that this year. Or put Matthews on the right line and stunt Julius Peppers to the inside with the pass rush because of his length. He can get a hand up and tip a ball away. He's got, and Matt Ryan would have no clue the radius that Julius Peppers has. He would have no idea whatsoever. But it's going to be key. Key, absolutely key. And I've said everybody's talking about the defensive backfield. And the defensive backfield, obviously, they have to step up. But I've said all along, I said it in the Cowboys game, and you look at this Cowboys game. We didn't get the pressure on. What happened at the end of that game? We had to kick a field goal with 3 seconds left. We had to kick a field goal with 3 seconds left. Now, so everybody's talking about the defensive backfield. The issue is the winning or losing of this game is going to happen up front, not just up front, but on the interior of that defensive line, the inside linebackers. We saw our inside linebackers have some success. Jake Ryan knows how to sack the quarterback. Blake Martinez can get to the quarterback. These are the guys. Blake Martinez is another one. If he can get a hand in the face of Matt Ryan and just make him throw a pass that's 6 inches off target, going to be big. All right. Let's talk about Julio Jones. Offensively, all right, let's talk about offensively, what I think we need to do. I think Ty Montgomery is going to be a huge player in this game. I think Ty Montgomery, especially with the injury situation, I didn't catch, if you have more information on this notion that they're expecting Allison I'm expecting to play, but in particular Adams to play. Gregory is back. Hey, buddy. Belgium is represented, Packer Nation, by the way, in case you didn't see it. Been representing lately. I'm liking it. But offensively, I think Ty Montgomery, remember, Ty Montgomery did not play in this game, and you add to that the balance that it adds. The Atlanta offense has this sort of two-headed monster with the versatility of Freeman and Tevin. Coleman in the backfield, they are dangerous. But while Ty Montgomery isn't the same kind of runner as them, and there's two of them, they can stay fresher. The Packers with Ty Montgomery now and Aaron Ripkowski, I think that balances out a lot compared to our initial meeting with the Atlanta Falcons. Oh, Nick, I love it. Nick has got capital WHOLIO Jones. Julio Jones? Give Nick a heart, or give a heart if you're ready to send Julio Jones back. He needs to, hey, guys, Julio's toe is not healthy. He needs to take some time off, sit on a couch, get on a boat somewhere where it's warm, and rest that toe. And Sunday, we're going to give him a chance to do that. We're going to get a chance to do it. Send Julio home. And that's another key to this game, all right? I'm going to put this down because that's the last of that one. And that is, we're expecting, some have called for, hey, why don't we put Micah Hyde on Julio Jones instead of Gunter? I don't want to do that, not for a minute. I don't think Micah Hyde has any more success with Julio Jones, and I think Micah Hyde plays so much better, in that against the slot. And I think Gunter is going to have a good game. I think Ladarius Gunter goes in here. No one is expecting. No one can stop Julio Jones. That's all there is to it. You can't lock him down. What you have to do is minimize the damage that Julio Jones causes. You're just playing damage control all game long against Julio Jones. The guy's 6'3", 220 pounds, and he has burst like you wouldn't believe. You see him, he freaking caught a pass going to the ground and got up and ran another 20 yards before the defender even had a time to tag him down. So Ladarius Gunter needs to get his hands on Julio Jones, throw him off his route early. If you can throw him off his route early and the pass rush just gets in Ryan's face, that pass will not connect. And Anthony is saying no 300 yards, please, and probably likening to the late signing to the practice squad, I believe, that the Packers made of a cornerback. And yes, Peter, we're going to need to make sure and get safety help over the top. But again, that requires we have to be able to stop the run. If they spread us out and start running the ball on us, then all of a sudden, guess what? Guess what happens to that safety help? Safety help at least gets cut in half. The key is going to be Ladarius Gunter getting his hands on him at the line. I've seen him at times line up in this press man. He's in press man position and never even attempts to get his hands on the receiver. We've got to stop that. Now again, keep in mind, Julio can beat you too because he is a strong, strong man. But that's the reason Ladarius Gunter is where he is, because his strength at the line. He's not the fastest guy, but he's got long arms, and he's one of these guys that's been able to show a little ability in press man. And then with the safety over the top to help him out, we do damage control. But guys, we all remember the meeting against the Falcons. Who had all the catches in that game? Mohamed Sanu. We're still, guys, this game, there's still going to be a ton of yards run. I don't care what we do, what we scheme, unless the Packers, and the biggest key on defense for me is having Clay Matthews, unless the Packers take Matt Ryan to give him a little bit rattled, the Atlanta Falcons score points. Look at what the Cowboys did. If you don't think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be able to score points, holy smokes. Now, again, my absolute expert, and my feed is going crazy again. And Richard, I'm totally with you. Put Peppers in the middle. They've lined him up on the D-line with his hand in the dirt at the 0-1. But I say stunt him around Matthews and let him get, even if he doesn't get home, his pass deflection radius is huge, and Ryan will not be ready for that. And he'll get a hand on a ball. Remember, we can tip that ball up. Peppers tipped balls to guys like Joe Thomas for interceptions before. And Phil is mentioning we need to win special teams battle. And I think we are going to, and this again, though, this is why I don't have it as absolute key. Number one, we've been playing pretty well on special teams. I'm very, very happy about that. So point well taken. To me, time of possession trumps field position in this game. But again, I'll take all the field position we can get. In terms of special teams, I do not expect this one to come down to a game-winning field goal. If anything, this is going to come down to a game-winning touchdown because the 4-point spread on the TDs, and there are going to be so many TDs scored in this game, that I don't think it's going to come down to 3 points wins it, to be quite honest. I think if there's a 2-minute drill at the end of this game, one or the other team is going to go up by 4. That means the last 30 seconds, like we saw in the Cowboys game, or the last 40 seconds, whatever happens, is going to be a touchdown this time around. So that's where special teams again and the field position battle, because remember, having a field goal to win the game is a field position battle. That is a field position battle. You're trying to get enough field position back to attempt a field goal. But to my mind, that's not the key in this game. Time of possession trumps field position, because I think we can finish this game without that if we win the time of possession battle. So that's where Ty Montgomery comes in, and I think Aaron Ripkowski can run on these guys. Aaron Ripkowski had, what, a 20-yarder, 13 or 20-yarder against the Atlanta Falcons in the first meeting. And Richard's saying they'll run Jones as a decoy. I do not agree that Jones will be of any kind. I don't understand why people think that anyone would have a Julio Jones on their team and run a decoy. He's dinged up, but he had a touchdown in the initial meeting. If Julio Jones re-aggravates that in the game and cannot be effective, Julio, there's only so you can only offer up basically 2 guys to 1 player back there. And Julio Jones can beat guys at a time. Now, if we have success, then yeah, they will go. Then Matt Ryan will throw it to the open man. But I don't understand why people think that literally the Atlanta Falcons are going to go out there and say, "Oh, Julio, here's the strategy. We're going to put you on the field, but you're not going to catch any balls because we're not going to throw it to you now." Okay? Because we're just going to put you out there as a decoy. I don't understand this comment. I don't buy it for a minute. What you're going to do is you're going to play one of the best receiver in the game, who is better than 99% of the receivers out there, even if he has a bad toe. You're going to play him, and if he's open, you're going to throw the ball to him. If Gunter plays a good enough game coverage, and he isn't open, you throw in Mohamed Sanu. But I do not understand the idea of Julio Jones being a decoy. I don't buy it, not for 1 minute. So I respectfully disagree. I know people think, I've heard that from other places. We think a lot of people, if Jordy goes, are going to say, well, Jordy's just going on as a decoy. Bull cuss. He is not going on as a decoy. You don't lay your $1 million man on the line where he could get speared again and have that broken, that puncture his lung, because you want him to go out there as a decoy. So, and it's unfair. I will say this. It's kind of unfair because I get to stream out my opinion on these things, and there are reasons these guys think this. So you don't get that. Obviously, you don't get that, but that's the way it is. So I'm just saying, I don't think for 1 minute that Julio Jones is going out there as a decoy. If I thought that and I was a defensive coordinator, I would say, let's put our worst cornerback on him, because I think he's just a decoy. And let's make sure and cover up everybody else, and our worst corner will stay on Julio Jones, and he won't have a catch because they've just got him on as a decoy. And Richard says, don't use Jordy. Well, I'm not saying that he should, but I'm saying that if he goes, which there is a possibility he goes, it's very, very slim to none. It's like I can crushing your head. But yeah, Ladarius Gunter because remember, you can roll coverage all you want. If you have safety over the top, guess what? You can coverage to that guy all you want. If they are throwing the back shoulder off the cornerback all day long, you're saying it ain't going to make one bit of difference. And Scott's saying that's probably what Green Bay says to throw off the other team. And the only thing I have with that is the people that talk about a decoy are the fans. There's never been a coach that talks about a decoy. I guess Anthony can probably get some hearts right now for saying Nelson will be ready for the Super Bowl. Because as soon as we go, number 1, which is good enough for me. Guys, we have our particular superstitions around here. I'm wearing the Heather Red game day shirt that became lucky and has been worn every game day ever since. We knuckle bump Sherm the Creepy Caddy. I've been knuckle bumping him all week. There's been a lot of talk this week in talk radio about superstitions. If you got one, go ahead and throw it up on the screen in the comments line. I'll try and read off a few of those because some of them are pretty funny. if I've been knuckle bumping Sherm, and I brought him on the show from time to time, we took him to Wisconsin. We took Sherm the Creepy Caddy to Wisconsin, all the way 900 miles to Wisconsin, to take him to the Seattle Seahawks game, December 11th, which I think was the turning point of the season without a doubt. Not as much, way more than the Texans game. And Sherm the Creepy Caddy was in Wisconsin with us. So I am knuckle bumping Sherm the Creepy Caddy. I got to get this one done. All right, let's see. What else? All right, guys, I don't know if you caught one, but one thing that I think you all should be made aware of, the stat time. The Atlanta Falcons defense is the worst defense in the league in the red zone. I got a thumbs up for that. I am pleased as punch about that. And the Seahawks in the first half, in their initial drive, walked down the field on the Falcons defense. Vic is dangerous as a pass rusher. He plays well against the run up. Yeah, but those Falcons are the worst in the league in the red zone. And guess who's having a run of red zone success in playoffs? And in this streak of Packers wins, Packers have been excellent in the red zone. All right? I mentioned, and this is another thing that goes back to my conversation about the way Ladarius Gunter has to play Julio Jones. To some extent, you've got to, as a player, you have to figure out where the refs are at. And I've said this week, and I get the comments and the criticism all the time about the refs. We know the refs are going to suck. That's all there is to it. You might as well just get used to the idea. These crews are cobbled together, and they've never played together. They're going to suck. So one of the most important things that the Packers defense is going to have to do is dial in to where the refs are at in this game. Are they going to let them play? Are they going to let the hand fighting happen? Are they going to let these guys play? Or are they going to be calling everything? If they're calling everything, you have to be very careful and see if you can get a call against Julio Jones on his break. Julio Jones is pretty savvy, but Julio Jones pushes off every time he makes a break. Part of his separation is pushing off. If the refs aren't calling it, Ladarius Gunter is going to have to. My feed's giving me trouble. I'll wait again. All I want for Christmas is blazing internet speed. But if Julio Jones is pushing off and the refs aren't calling the pass interference, the holds early on, Ladarius Gunter, he's going to have to get his hands on Julio Jones at the line, but he's also once you get to trail technique, when you see that break, he's going to have to grab a little bit carefully and see. He's going to have to test the waters. If he can do that early on, we'll get Julio Jones a little bit pissed off, and we can see some good things happen. Because we're going to need that along with the safety help to make things happen. We've got Wesley. All right, emoji me your thoughts on this one. Wesley comment up. I don't know if you saw it, so I'm going to up. And right now, Wesley is saying, bring back the substitute refs. Bring back the substitute refs. So you can emoji everyone your thoughts on right now. Because holy smokes. On another Fail Mary. We finally just got something to go our way at the end of a game. Think about it, guys. How many times the Packers finally get a last-second play to go their way? We got a lot of laughs for you. Good comment. I love that. That's awesome. We finally got a last play to go our way. I'm afraid the substitute refs, man. I'm afraid. But maybe they won't be, influenced by the Vegas mob, and they'll actually call it the Packers way for a change. All right, folks. Well, there was more I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we did talk about, I think one of the keys, we've got Clay Matthews back in this game, and we did talk about it a little bit. The Packers offensive line, guys, we got to give them some love right now. The Packers offensive line. And David Bakhtiari presumably will play. He went out, had a knee injury during the game against the Cowboys. And presumably he's going to play. These guys are warriors, man. They take it day in and day out, play in and play out. And it's a tough thing. Keegan, we're going to talk about that just a second because I have a thought on that. I have a thought on the shofar. But Seattle's offensive line is nowhere near as good as the Packers' offensive line. I'm not saying they're a bad offensive line, but they're not as good as the Cowboys. So I think we can get there from time to time, and we're going to have to get there. Get in Matt Ryan's face. In particular, you got for pass rush up the middle. We've got to get in Matt Ryan's face. And we got a chance to win this game. Move on to Super Bowl 51. This is it, guys. It is coming right down to the wire. It's already Thursday. Tomorrow's Prediction Friday. I have a thought. I think here's the deal, and I know some of you are going to be mad at me on this one. I had promised that if we won the game against the Cowboys, I would blow the shofar. Right here. This is the shofar. And I'm nervous to blow it now because I was supposed to blow it Monday and I just plain forgot. And then we had a little screw up. And guys, I'm nervous that if I blow it now, it will jinx us for the game against Atlanta. So here's my plan. And just give me a thumbs up if you're on board with me on this. I want to push the shofar to Monday after we beat the Falcons and we're ready to go to the Super Bowl. And that way I don't feel like I'm kind of like, if I blow it now, it's Thursday, I feel like I'm kind of pre-blowing it for a win against, and maybe the NFL gods will look unkindly on that. And this is a team in the Green Bay Packers that has had enough bad luck with the NFL gods. Okay, so Sean is saying, don't blow it now. Oh, and the other reason is, okay, here's the thing. If I were to blow the shofar and it sang out sonorously with a vibrato of championship nature, and it was majestic, and it rang out and echoed through the halls, I would feel like that would call the team to action and win, and a big win against the Falcons. However, let me explain how the shofar works, especially when I blow it. I'm sure there are some experts out there. This thing is hard as heck to blow. And chances are what you're going to get is Monty Python in Quest for the Holy Grail right off, all right? That's what you're going to get for early on. So it is just for comedy value, okay? But if I fail, then I would be worried again. Did I jinx the team? Do we fail? Okay? Mindy is saying wait till after the Super Bowl. We'll have that conversation, all right? All right, what we're doing is we are waiting with the shofar until the time is right. Now, I will say this. I think if we beat Falcons, I'm going to wait. I feel like a kindergarten teacher with this stupid feet because it's like, okay, I'm going to wait until you settle down now. I feel like if we beat the Falcons and I blow it Monday, I think we're cool, to be quite honest. I think we're good. Partly because I think if we beat the Falcons, we're good. Like, really. The Super Bowl will be a great game, I think. It will be a tough game regardless. But I feel better about us playing either one of these AFC teams than I feel about playing this Atlanta Falcons team. This is going to be a tough road to hope. My Packers mug is only 4 NFC championships and Super Bowl victories. Let's add one to that for you. Yeah, Simon says, we still got to play the Pats. Yeah, I honestly, I think there's a good chance that the Steelers beat the Patriots. The Patriots did not look that good. They're going to score, but I would not be surprised at all if the Patriots go down. Foxborough, so history's on their side, but I wouldn't be surprised one little bit. A lot of people a lot of people thought the Patriots were going to walk through the Texans. They won by 18 points, but everyone on the Patriots team knew they were knocking on the door of losing that game. If those Texans had any quarterback, Brock Osweiler, the high school quarterback that trotted onto the field for them in the divisional round, getting ready to beat the Patriots. And guess who has the most sacks in the last 8 games of this season? It's not the Texans. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is going to be I think that's going to be a great game too. Obviously, I'm going to be dead-eye focused. And if the Packers beat the freaking Atlanta Falcons, I don't care who we match up against. We just got to get her done this week. All right. And Thomas is mentioning, again, time of possession comes into this. If you can take the ball away from Tom, he can't score on you. So we'll see. Tom's got the Steelers in this one. You can roll your predictions on that if you want as we close the show. Guys, hope you have a great Thursday. We are rolling into Friday, and the weekend is almost here. It is championship week. Packers with a big matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. We've talked all about it today. We'll talk about it more in depth tomorrow. And as always, we will add your predictions. And Keegan is mentioning, how about that video from the Steelers? I mean, what a stupid thing to do. Was it Antonio Brown, right? Went live on Facebook. That sounds like something, I mean, it's against league policy. It's against team policy. They're going to punish him in-house, apparently. And Tomlin came out and basically undressed him for doing that. And I agree with it. It's a stupid, and Antonio Brown had to agree. Hey, thanks, Thomas. I appreciate it, man. And yeah, these are things that give bulletin board material to the Patriots. Patriots do not need any motivation. Let's look at the opposite side of this, and this is just the way it went down. But let me tell you, man, winning the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year award, do you seriously not think Aaron Rodgers is not going, all right, I get to meet you on the field, and let's see how it shakes out. We're head-to-head. It's a throwdown. This is the shootout at Georgia guys. Aaron Rodgers is ready to prove something. And we know he holds a grudge. So as we close the show, how about a Go Pack Go for going in there to the Georgia Dome? And we know they're going to topple this last game in the stadium. And let's bring that stadium down to the ground and send them off in style back home while we move on to Houston. Go Pack Go, guys. I appreciate you guys so much joining me in. I will be back again tomorrow. Same pack time, same pack place.